What do you do when you don't have access to subject matter experts? Michael, why don't you start with that one?
Okay. I have two answers on this one. So let's say my preference is if at the client there are, so here's the thing. So I tell clients in the situation that you can give me budget and we are happy to burn it, but that wouldn't help you, right? So that's not really of value. So in the best case, what I'm doing is I'm trying to convince the client to really send in subject matter experts who know the data processes, the business processes, to help us to be successful, essentially. If that's not possible, my preferred choice, my second preferred choice is to find another project at the client where they have the budget and the subject matter experts available to help us, essentially, because I really value the presence of, or the participation of subject matter experts in a project that high, right? So I rather would go for another internal project where they have the time to help us to develop all these features, these reports, and so on. That's my second preferred choice. And what I don't do is what I see some of the clients is they just create a role in the vault because they don't know how the business will work with the solution they're building, and that's really burning money a lot. That's what I see.
Nols, what do you have there?
So yeah, I always get great.
You need a subject matter expert. So I agree wholeheartedly with Michael. If you don't have one, you need to agree with the business on what the impact would be. And the impact's this. I can become the subject matter expert. It's going to take time. It's going to take money. And then once we know what we're doing, it'll be quick to build a vault. But you can't not pay the piper. You have to become a subject matter expert. If you don't have one, you become one. And you have to pay school money. And school money is in budget burned. So if the business cannot afford to spare the person, they have to spare the budget. So
let me ask a slightly, drilling into that, I guess. Let's say that the organization has some very old applications and they don't have anyone who really knows those anymore. Is there tools you can use, like the discovery tools and stuff, do enough, or can do you just have to spend the analysis time? How does that fit?
Thou shalt not start Data Vault without profiling your data. Okay, that's a key command. So irrespective of whether I have the subject matter expert or not, you always profile the data. You start to understand how the data exists within the systems, because what we understand and what the systems do is not necessarily always in sync. This is where the subject matter expert breaches that gap. You very rapidly get there. Now, there are some really good tools in the marketplace that does some of this discovery, but there is nothing in the marketplace that will discover that the investment choice for a person in a pension fund is stored on the broker extension field called broker flag 07. There's nothing but a subject matter expert that eventually will tease out that kind of detail to it. Is it valuable? Absolutely. Is it foolproof? No. And so you then become the subject matter expert. Now, it's incumbent on you as the person engaged to bring the business to become the subject matter expert that you do not perpetuate the sins of the past, and you must capture what you gather in a wiki, some sort of knowledge base or knowledge management platform that becomes part of the project collateral. Now, if you keep that all to yourself, you may have some job security, but eventually they'll fire you anyway. That's not what you want to do, right? You want to move on to more exciting stuff. So maintaining and managing a wiki is an absolute must as part of this process. Whether you have access to a subject matter expert or whether you have access to profiling or other discovery tools, that's fantastic, except you have to capture the decisions and the outcomes, and you need to become a subject matter expert if you don't have one. And you need to make sure the business understands this. It's not a data vault problem. It's a business resource problem. Two distinct things to keep in mind.
Sure. Michael, anything else to add to that one?
Only a few topics or a few points. The thing is that when we have these migration projects sometimes, and if you have a legacy system and everybody's gone who built the system, who knows the system, well, then you have to pay the price. I mean, you have to really analyze the systems because we need to know how they work, how the data looks like, and so on, right? There needs to be some source system analysis, essentially, or system analysis. That's what it is. I mean, The other option would be to have a wizard in a team, but there are no wizards, so that's not an option. So it's really analyze the source system, analyze the system you want to replace, and that's what it is. It's pure standard IT. And there's nothing even special about Data Vault here. It's standard IT stuff.
And prototyping is your friend.
Yep.
Prototyping is the friend, because you have to then expose it to the business. Go, does this smell right? And they go, no, it's supposed to look like this. And go, how's that possible?
Yeah.
And so off to the races you go, reverse engineering and figuring things out. Eventually you'll get to the secret sauce there. But it takes time, it takes budget.
And I'm sure we've all seen these projects that are very IT driven, and and either the business doesn't want to engage or IT doesn't want to let them engage, and they always go slow and they're always hard, right? Because it is that subject matter expert. But let me add one final bit to this: is in the data mesh paradigm where we're trying to have data products, do those SMEs become the data product owners? Is that kind of the idea? Is that how that works?
They're the ideal product owners.
Yeah, perfect.
Because
all right,
they know what it is, they know the context, they know where it's supposed to happen or where it can't be used and where it should be used, all of those type of things. And they should capture that in their interface agreement, their product engagement model. So, yep.
Yeah.